Yeah,
Oh, I truly appreciate this. Thank you for joining.
thank you. Thank you so much.
That's okay, Jaipal. Thank you so much for letting us know. Should we start off?
Yes, Shilpa.
Yeah, let's start. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I am Shilpa Sri Jagannathan. I'm the community manager for the Next Winning, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all for today's mentoring session. This is about careers in cybersecurity. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the land. I'd like to acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is traditional territories of many nations, including Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many First Nations and Inuit people. Our session today is designed to provide valuable insights in the dynamic and rapidly evolving world of cybersecurity. We are thrilled to have Rakshita Srinivasa, an experienced security operation admin from FundServe, as our guest mentor. Rakshita brings over 4 years of experience in this domain and is here to share her journey, knowledge, and tips and tricks for all of you who want to crack it in the cybersecurity space. With her academic background with a bachelor's and master's degree in network security, her passion for learning new things and exploring new technologies make her an inspiring figure in this field. Besides her professional pursuits, Rakshita loves traveling and exploring diverse cuisines. I'd like to remind some house rules before Rakshita takes over. Please keep yourself on mute if you're not talking. Note down your questions or feel free to ask them in the chat box. Rakshita has planned the session with a few breaks in between, and she will take those questions during the break. Without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Rakshita.
Thanks, Shilpa. And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to everyone over there. Thanks for joining my session over here. Let me quickly share my screen. Shilpa, can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, it's visible now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Today, let's talk about cybersecurity. Everyone must have heard about what cybersecurity is and why it's actually booming out there. And especially when we talk in Canada, we have scarcity of cybersecurity engineers. So that's like an advantage for all of us who want to migrate from any other career to cybersecurity. We have a lot of job opportunities out there in Canada. And yeah, let's get started. And thanks to Next Innings for hosting me here and giving me an opportunity to share my career and give some guidance and help the community out there. Okay. So, because it's the topic of cybersecurity, let's keep everything as cyber. Let's have some code words and jargons out there. So, let's first initially talk about what exactly is cybersecurity and what would you be looking in cybersecurity. So, what kinds of technologies, what are the skills that is needed, and if you have to transfer your career from other domain or if you have to kickstart your career in cybersecurity, and what are the badges that you would require in the cybersecurity domain. And then I'll just walk you through how the cybersecurity engineer's day would look like. Okay, and as Shilpa mentioned, I have planned few breaks in between. So after I complete each domains here, I'll give one a 5-minute break where we can discuss if any topics that you were interested in, we can go ahead with that. Starting with that note.
I will monitor the chat box for you and ask the questions during your. Yeah.
Perfect, Shilpa. That would help me a lot. And yeah, as Shilpa mentioned, looking into my academic background, I've completed my bachelor's in information science and engineering and completed my master's in BITS Pilani, India, with a specialization in network security. And when I migrated to Canada, I still wanted to explore more about the cybersecurity in depth. I was more focused into network security, but not exactly into security operations. So by doing this post-graduation diploma, I completely migrated from network security to security operations. And few of the major certifications that I hold as I have completed my CCNA, CCNP, and recently I completed my CompTIA Plus, and yeah, a bunch of them. Like when I was in when I talk about my cybersecurity journey, I'll give you where and how was the security journey done, and when the certifications were completed, and how you can accomplish that certificate even after getting into the career. Okay. Yeah, this is peek into my cybersecurity journey. Uh, right after I graduated, I started with one of the topmost organizations that's in the networking, that's Cisco. I think all of you would like every graduate would have their dream journey. So that's how I got into Cisco. So Cisco was like a dream job when I started after I got graduated. And in Cisco, I have worked for about an year and a half. And then I was a network engineer over there, mostly working on the data center side of operations, where we used to go design some networks. From the architects, we used to get the networks. We physically used to go in the data centers, design all those servers and routers over there. Yeah, that's a quick walkthrough of what about how I started as a network engineer. And then from there, I got bored of doing the same old, moving the servers, connecting the servers, and then working with the routers. So I was like, okay, let me change a little bit into the security side of networking. So then I jumped to the company called SonicWall. SonicWall is one of the famous firewalls out there in the industry. So those are the leading firewalls competitors for Juniper and Fortinet out there. Um, Cisco is a legacy one. Everyone knows about it, but SonicWall is quite new. It's been there since like 10, 15 years older, but yeah, it's a very good company where I got exposure, where I spent a lot of investigation on all these intrusion prevention, how exactly a firewall works, what the firewall does, and I digged in and out of the firewalls there. So I started as a graduate trainee engineer in SonicWall, and then I ended up getting promoted until enterprise network security during my journey. And excuse me, I was there in SonicWall for about like 2.5 years, and then from there I moved to Canada to pursue my post-graduation degree here. Once I came into Canada, I started my post-graduations in George Brown College, in specialization again with cybersecurity and wireless networking. While I was a student, Fencer was generous enough to give me an opportunity there. So with holding a good background and the academic history, while I was studying in George Brown College, I got a job offer from FunServe. I was the security operations admin at there. This is a small walkthrough of my journey.
Rakshita, 1 minute. Somebody in the chat box says she can't hear you. Purva, anybody else has an issue? I can hear Rakshita. Purva, are you able to hear me? Yeah, okay. Okay, continue.
It works. Sorry, I have a bad throat. If you want me to increase my volume a little bit, I can do that. Shilpa, is that okay now, or it's still?
You're perfect. You're audible. It's okay. You can continue.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
perfect.
there was some problem at her end. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I think I stopped at FundServe. So right now I'm the security operations admin in FundServe, holding 4 years of strong experience in networking and infrastructure. I have few memberships in the cybersecurity professional, that is ISC Square. I'll talk more about this while we talk about the certifications and their badges. So ISC Square is one of the security platforms where all the professionals get involved. We have yearly summit where we all get together, talk about the latest trends, what next is coming up, and how we are dealing with the existing threat scenarios and things like that. And that is one of the conferences that I have attended, and I highly recommend all the women's out there to attend it. It's called as CyberX. That's conducted in Toronto. That's conducted every year to encourage more of women in cybersecurity. So I'm a part of that conference as well. And a very famous one in the security sector, that's the Sector. That's again held in Toronto. That's we get all the executives over there who discuss about the security latest trends and everything. Apart from this, I like more of research oriented work. I've worked in DRDO as well as an intern while I was back in India. DRDO is the Defense of Research in India. That's pretty much it about my cybersecurity journey. I look forward to be even more excited to go for the engineering roles and the operations in future. Okay, let's get started with what exactly cybersecurity in a nutshell is. So, if you have to see cybersecurity on a big picture, what are the criteria that you should know? There are few. It's called as five level life cycle, where you identify, protect, detect, respond, recovery. These are the 5 terminologies any cybersecurity engineer would be very familiar with. So, what actually is security? Security is like protecting ourselves from any external threats that is going to come, or it's already came, or will be coming. So there is like different stages of it. That's when it comes in, we identify. We have certain protocols that we follow, that we implement in protecting it, and few to detect and few to respond and recovery. So any questions as of now, or looks good?
Sorry, I'm talking
Questions?
with unmute on. So no questions so far, but
Okay.
you have the break. I will ask a few questions which we have collected. You want me to ask away right now?
No, I can continue. No worries. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So in the identification phase, the risk factor would be the priority, wherein the policies, security policies, will it align if, for example, there comes a vulnerability out there, and then how do you identify? There are communication channels that would be integrated with it. So based on those communication channels, you get the identification. And once you get the notification about it, where exactly, like, will we be affected with that or not? There might be something out there which really doesn't bother us, then we are not caring about it. We just learn from it. And once we identify it, we look at the remediation. Any vulnerability that comes in will definitely have a remediation within the given SLA of the product companies. So they'll be providing with some remediations, and based on the remediation, we implement the protection steps to your company. So if you have to look through this generic workflow, this works differently for 2 different organizations. So one would be the product companies, the second one would be the service companies. So if you look process workflow for a product company, that looks very different from the service companies. Service companies only implement what product companies say. So working in both the balances, I would say working in a product company which gives you the remediation steps is most challenging than working in the service company, because you already have the solution for it and you don't have to panic at that situation. Okay. This is a brief overview and some steps that would be taken and highlighted in the cybersecurity career. Um, Going that as the next step, let's see what are the career horizons across the security domain. So the main purpose of this session was to understand where to start, what are the career paths, how does the salary range look like in cybersecurity, and little bit of skill sets and tech tools and technologies that can be used in there. So without the delay, I'll get that started. So we have, when you talk about cybersecurity, it's a very vast field. Like any other field that you think about will have different segregations in them. In the same way, cybersecurity also has few segregations in them, which talks about engineering, testing, analysis, response, and auditing. These are the 5 major categories the cybersecurity domain is divided into. Based on the interest of an individual, this will be taken into consideration. So if you want to go into the engineering side of things, where you will be talking about the implementation, system creations, and maintenance, this is mostly on the high level overview of the security, where you find the security engineers, application security engineers, cloud security engineers, and network security engineers. These are the job titles which is holding towards the engineering, where they innovate things and bring in new things to the company. But if you go to the testing side of it, this is mostly towards the pen tester, vulnerability assessment engineer, or security auditor. Here, whatever the engineering team has developed, whatever the innovation that's been done, they'll be doing multiple test scenarios, creating use cases, and then trying to break what has been innovated. If they are not able to break anything that's innovated, that's when that technology holds a stand in there. So the first one comes the engineering, then comes the tester. Once everything is tested, that would be implemented in the analysis phase. So analysis phase is where you get the security analyst, threat intelligence analyst, and security operation analyst. So after everything is tested, if you see something is broken, everything is fixed, and the product is out to the market, the analysis people will try to use that tool, find some mitigations or any on-demand vulnerabilities or 0 days that come in. These are the people who will be handling it. So those are the job roles that is associated with analysis. And after the analysis people are in between the testers and responders. So they do bit of testing, they do bit of response as well. So their job roles is in the spectrum of, like, they're in the middle spectrum. They can either go to the engineering side, or they can even come back to the response side based on their interest. So as I told you, the analysis people will be working mostly on the threats and collecting data. The responder, on the other hand, will be working on how do we communicate, what type of security breach has happened. They'll be prioritizing the data and communicating with different teams to see what has happened, what's the what do you say? What's the impact of it? How much are we losing, and all that things. So any security threat is always a negative thing for us. We are like, oh, we never want that to happen. So yeah, that's about the response people. And in the auditing sector, this is where the compliance, the policies, everything will come in. So when you do a process, there would be some auditing that would happen. So whether you've done it according to the standards of it. So there would be some, for example, if you take Ontario, Ontario has its own security policies and trends that has to be followed. If something goes out of the range, then you will be out of it. So because they are very critical data, that's the reason they would do all these restrictions. These auditing staff will make sure all the laws, all the privacies, everything is protected and evaluated. They'll do regular auditing staff and everything to make sure all is in good place. Any questions on this, or we'll move on to the salaries?
Vijay Lakshmi Natarajan has a question. Vijay Lakshmi, would you like to ask?
Yeah, so I wanted to understand as per this career path. So, do we have to start up with engineering and then we will be like, do we have separate certifications for this engineering testing analysis, or do we have to start off with engineering and then move on to testing? Is it like something that we have to do one by one?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Vijayalakshmi. So it need not be like you have to start with engineering. Every different career path has their own certifications. So when I talk about certification, I'll give you for each roles, they would have different type of certifications done. So it depends on the interest. So for example, you do not want a very risky job where you want to do the analysis, where analysis jobs are very risky because they will be in the middle spectrum. You want to have a light job where you just want to see what's going on and have a easy career. That's when you go for the auditing. If you think you want to innovate something, you want to make some changes, you want to break something and then fix something, then that goes to the engineering and testing. So it basically depends on your interest and what you want to pursue. There is nothing solid that you have to start from engineering or from auditing. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, she says she.
Yes. Thank you. I responded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
There's one more question from Jyoti Iyengar. You want to ask?
Sure, thank you. Auditing seems to be interesting to me, and I would like to understand the career path, how to go into cyber auditing.
So there is something called as PVC for women's, especially for women's who are very interesting in auditing. I can show you the career path. Like going forward, I'll show you what certifications can be done. So for auditing roles in cybersecurity, it does not require any prior experience. It just needs you just have to get certified. There's one particular certification. If you're in Ontario, I can share you the list of certification that can be done for the auditors. That would help you start the career. Just have understanding the privacies and governance in the security. That's all is required to get started for a beginner role in auditing.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I am very interested.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll keep that noted and then we can.
Akshita, you have time for one more question?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, this is from our data. Let me figure out. This is Antarik Sharma who had signed up, and I'm not sure if he's here, but he had asked a question. How can I go from computer systems networking to cybersecurity?
Oh, that's exactly my pathway of coming from network engineering to cybersecurity. So, in the when you are a network engineer, you might know certain aspects of the cybersecurity, because when you design a network, you need to follow certain principles. So, initially, get started. If you're working in any of the networking companies, get little bit hands-on and start working with the security folks, and then they can give you a little bit of insights on how the security looks like. Because moving from network engineering to security will not be a great challenge, and it's a very good transition from network engineering. If you are focusing mostly on servers and the routers, then you should start focusing on firewalls. Firewalls are the key for security engineers. So start learning firewalls and get certified with firewalls like CI, SSPs, or anything like that. That would help.
Okay. Should we take the next set of questions in a little while?
In
In
the,
the
yeah,
next
yeah.
meeting, there are many more questions flowing.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah,
We'll finish this apart and then we can get started.
sure.
Okay, so talking about the salary expectations. So an average security engineer salary would range from $75,000 to $117 and 100K. So this is basically in between. Any junior positions that you would be going in would start from the 75,000, but it's a very good package when you compare the other fields, and more because there is a scarcity in the field. The more you demand, the more you get from there. So that's how the crisis is right now, because security was there since a long time, but nobody would really trained with security. That's the reason that became scarcity over here. um, okay, moving on to the skills that is needed for the cybersecurity. So what are the skills that would be needed? So if you want to become a cybersecurity engineer, the first and foremost thing is like you need to love information technology. So what's exactly information technology? Information technology is uh, gathering all the informations and collecting those information so you know when to implement and how to implement. So you'll have like hundreds of data that's coming in, and you need to know what data is what. If you are able to make that decision, that's when you will be a master in cybersecurity, because there will be overloaded informations to the cybersecurity engineers there. And also you should have an in-depth knowledge on cross platforms. So for example, if you're working on Windows, you'll not be sticking on to Windows. We will be we should have exposure to Linux, we should have exposure to Mac. So there is nothing that this is exactly what you have to be learning. You should be learning on demand. So that's why it's kind of challenging, but it's very interesting as in when it goes. You'll be learning every new technology each day. And each time you do some security assessments over there, you'll be like, oh, wow, that's a new technology which I wasn't sure of. So that's how exciting cybersecurity skills are. And talking about the digital forensics. So digital forensics are one of the very interesting fields in cybersecurity, where if any incidents happen, how are we collecting the informations? How are we doing uh, investigation on what exactly has happened, how it has happened, and who caused that? All something like you'll be like a police out there to investigate, but not exactly on the grounds, but in the background of the grounds. So, and also we should have good communication skills, because any security engineer or operations person will have to give awareness training. There would be a lot of things that would be coming up when you are giving the security awareness training. So we should have a good communication skill where we talk to others in a clear manner, so that everyone, even a non-technical person, should understand on what exactly is happening there. We cannot always be talking in the tech terms or using the jargons of the techs. So how easily we can make the technology simpler for them, that's one of the key skills that's needed. And yeah, this one is the last one is like mandatory every day. New hundreds of things come, hundreds of hackers would be doing. So just keep reading it and trying to understand. Need not be really it really doesn't matter for it. uh, it but it's good to have it. Okay. And yeah, these are few of the technologies that's important. If you're getting started, you need to know the basic networking protocols, security protocols, different types of operating systems, different types of firewalls. The firewall, as a general point, it's same everywhere, but you need to know different companies would have different functionalities of working it. So if you are certified with 1 or 2 certifications on firewall, that should be sufficient. And you should know the basic principle of incident handling and response, security audits, threat analysis, laws and regulations, endpoint controls, physical security, and email security. This is just to get started. If you are familiar with all these tools and technology, it shouldn't be hard to get in the job. These are the basic requirements for any entry level, or maybe intermediate level also would sometimes demand only these categories. Shilpa, you want to take some questions out there?
Yeah, sure. So can I call Gayatri Nagesh to ask her questions?
Hi, I'm a business analyst. Just I have few doubts on like how can I switch from business analyst to cybersecurity field?
For sure. So I would say if you're interested in moving from business analysis to cybersecurity, there is something called as ISTQB. There's a certification for it. I think it's IIBA certification, where that's a career transition from business analyst to cybersecurity. So mostly it would be the reporting side of it. If you're moving from the excuse me, if you're moving from business analyst to the cybersecurity, but if you're not interested with the reportings and auditing stuff, you can get some certifications like CompTIA Plus or something, or CISSPs as an intermediate, and then move to cybersecurity.
Okay.
Yeah, cybersecurity, any course in cybersecurity would need a certification. That's the mandatory thing that everyone would ask for.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to call upon Samir next.
Yeah, hi, thank you so much. So, there are actually 1 or 2 questions. Firstly, of course, like when it comes to my background, I don't have an IT background, but of course, like I happened to work for Microsoft for about 3 years in Canada. But it was a very different role. I was mostly into sales and support. And during that course, I just did certification in Microsoft AZ900, which is a fundamental foundation course. And the other one was Microsoft 365. And I, of course, like just happened to do a little SQL training also. I don't know how much of this is going to be beneficial for me, but of course, like I want to understand that, if I was to, you can say more like an entry level only, if I have to enter into this industry, so what should be my pathway, and is any background of mine, this background of mine is going to be helpful or not?
Thanks, Amir, for that. I with all the background that you've given me, if you've completed the AZ900 certification, that should be a starting path for you. You might have learned few basic concepts of security and operations. So with that certificate, if you can get your CISSP done as well, that would help you. And with your AZ900, you can start applying, and having a sales background or a support background doesn't really matter. Everything you'll be starting everything from fresh. So it's a good start if you really want to get started. Just get your CompTIA Plus certification and you can start applying.
Okay, as you mentioned, just like CISSP, so that's something that I need to focus on initially.
Yeah, like that would be the intermediate level. But if you just want to get started for a beginner level, start with the CompTIA Plus security trainings.
Okay. I'm sorry, I know there are many more questions, but just one more question. This is the last one. I actually have just had an interaction with someone, and they just asked me that there's some Rogers program, which is Rogers cybersecurity program. They asked me to just enroll into it, and it is something that it's a little costly program, around $15,000. So I was like not very sure that should I actually enroll it, and then after that,
So
once I'm done.
yeah,
So
just to confirm, if you're enrolling with any of the organization, that would be organization specific. So any Rogers or TELUS program that would be done, they'll be giving you training only on the Rogers product, and you'll not have a broad perspective of the security. So yeah, that would be my thoughts on it. I would say doing a broad security course will help you broaden your career in all the aspects of security, not just focusing on one particular product of them.
okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Do you want to take more questions, or do you want to continue and
Uh,
come back later?
we can continue, and then we can take more later. Yeah. So with regards to basics, I believe most of the folks here are looking for either career transition or getting started with cybersecurity. So the basic technologies would help you, but if you are an intermediate, you can focus on the vulnerability management, pen testing. There are some tools out there which helps us decrypt and encrypt secret keys. If I'm talking too technical, please do let me know in the chat so that I can become little more basic towards it. I am thinking most of them are little bit aware of what cybersecurity is, but if you want me to lower the tech heavy tech terms, I can do that as well. And yeah, identity and access management. This is identity and access management is mostly focusing for the audit staff. And yeah, anything with Azure and AWS is always a boon to your career. Yep, that's about the technologies involved. Talking about the most popular tools out there for cybersecurity. If you're a cybersecurity professional, you should, in this, the jargons of things, you should at least have 4 or 5 technology tools that you should be aware of in order to get inside this. Every for if you take Nessus vulnerability scanner, those are the agents that would be sitting on the machines where you get the critical vulnerabilities, high priority vulnerabilities, and reports from there. And Sumo Logic is something which you'll be getting the logs, alertings from different resources. So any of these, every asset here would have a certification associated with it, but you really do not have to do until you're trained only on that particular curve of the network. You can have the combinations of it, have the technologies on a brief note, so that you can just get started. Each company would use different stacks of technology. So if you master everything, that's never ending. So choose any 5 of them, and then whichever feels comfortable, choose them and then get familiarized with them. Because all of them have individual spectrum in there, and if you specify with one spectrum, you will have the complete curve, and if it's needed, you can still get upgraded based on the demand. Okay, and some soft skills that is needed for the cybersecurity engineer. So the time management. So any network engineer or a security engineer, time is very critical. So the amount of time you take to respond back to an incident, that quickly the incident goes off. So as per the latest news and technologies, there was an attack that happened, and it was done from one of the assets. They just fished one of the asset, and within 15 minutes the entire network was attacked by the ransom. So that's how critical time management we should be. As soon as we get any critical alerts, we just isolate those machines and then keep it safe. So time management is very important for it. And team collaboration. You will be working with a lot of folks out there, because one people cannot handle everything. And you need to be talking to multiple teams out and have a good communication rapport between those teams. So if you tell something, they should be able to listen to it. So you should have that leadership skills in the team collaboration. And critical thinking for sure to make any decisions based on the security policies. And as you guys already know, cybersecurity is such vast and need to keep learning. Lots of technologies coming. It's not only specific to cybersecurity, but anything in IT. The continuous learning is the key factor, and getting adapted. So any new change that happens, how quickly are you able to adapt to that change would also matter. And because the environment keeps changing rapidly, that's the reason adaptability is the anyone who hires you after your technical rounds and everything, these are some of the parameters that they would be analyzing. Will these parameters match with the employee if they come into the organization? So few of these would help you when when you're answering any of the soft skills questions or anything that you're talking to your HRs. This would help you. Okay, and some fun facts about security engineer. What's interesting about cybersecurity? Think like a criminal in order to defend against them. That's the note that we always follow. Okay, if they've attacked us in this way, what would be our defense strategy for it to protect ourselves? And because it's a fast-paced environment, we have to continuously keep changing things, keep moving stuff. So you should be, it's fun to move around stuff and get adapted to new things. And yeah, what's not interesting is meetings. You'll have lot of meetings talking to different team folks, and you have to keep reporting things. The repetitive task is like keep updating your Excel sheet with the latest vulnerabilities, doing the same old stuff. That's kind of boring, but sometimes people enjoy that as well. So yeah, that's some of the fun facts in cybersecurity. Before we get into the certifications part, we can take some questions, Shilpa.
Yes, we now have Dinesh Bangalore, my fellow Bangalorean. Are you ready to ask your question?
Yes, hi. Yeah, thanks, Shilpa and
Dinesh,
Next Gen
1
team for
minute.
doing this.
Would you mind
Yeah.
turning on the video? Folks, when you're asking the question, do you mind turning on the video?
Yeah, sure. Hi.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. My question was, how are things progressing with the AI in cybersecurity? Is it already progressed, or do we have to be aware of any new tools or technologies that's has advanced in this sector?
That's a wonderful question, and it's a very hot topic to discuss in the webinar today. So yeah, with the latest AI and tools, we have a lot of enhancement that's been done. So I'll give you one of the real world scenarios out there. So right now, all of you might have been aware of ChatGPTs. So what's happening with ChatGPT is all the production codes, people are trying to paste that in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is having all the databases of it. So which it's a kind of risk threat. So what we are trying to do is we are building our own AIs in the companies in order to leverage this. So for example, if you go into Microsoft Bing AI, we have the privilege, if your company is using Microsoft, you have a privilege to build your own Bing, where you apply security restrictions on what has to be uploaded and what has not to be uploaded. So AI is emerging with the AI emerging technologies, security is also getting adapted to it. The first time we get attacked, the second time we know that it's a attack strategy, so we try to block the policies and stuff like that. So as the technology is enhancing, the security policies risk is always there.
Okay.
Thanks, Archita. Thank you.
No problem, Danish.
Can I ask Neelima Khare next to ask a question?
Yes. I'm turning on my camera. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So my question is, what exactly the job market about cybersecurity? Because now in Canada, there are very less jobs for the IT. So what is your thought? What is your suggestion? It's like,
So, when you compare the statistics between the other jobs and security jobs out there, we'll talk specifically with Toronto. Security has more jobs. The only challenge that security would ask for is maybe a year experience or a 2 years experience or equivalent certifications or a degree with it. So if you have some degree or any certifications that can cover your 1 or 2 years experience, then you would be the right fit. Like there was a graph that I saw recently on LinkedIn wherein it was saying there are a lot of jobs, but there are no skill that would be aligning with the job. So it's not about the job that's not there, but the skills that would match for that job. That's the missing part. So there's a gap between that. When yeah, as you told, there are a lot of recessions things across happening in Canada. Regardless of that, cybersecurity has a lot of opportunities out there. Just that the gap has to be filled between it, whether get certified or get a diploma or a degree, or just do some co-ops or internships with few organizations where you can at least learn what's there in it. Because the biggest challenge here in security is when you onboard, you should know basic strategies because you're exposing your critical data to the environment. So you should be aware of what is happening and what will happen to make that call. That's why the gap is present. Did it answer your question, Nilma?
yes,
Perfect.
because I'm in a testing field, that's automation testing, and
Mhm.
I'm looking for the job from last around 6 months, 6 to 7 months. But my experience is up to like 4+ years. But the requirement in the market is like 8+ year, 10+year. So I'm not getting even single call from the recruiter. So
So
that's why I'm asking what exactly the, yeah.
is it automation testing in pen testing, or it's completely the QA side of automation?
Yeah, QA side.
Okay, I'll not be the right person to answer that. I'm the security person. So with regarding security and questions like that, I'll be happy to answer that.
Okay. No, thank you.
No problem.
May I ask a question, please?
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
I, sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to ask. I was also trying to find job in security, so I have some work experience. I got my Security Plus recently, but yeah, like it's hard to get a call from a recruiter, and I was trying to find a internship, but sometimes those internships are for students. Like I also graduated in April last year, so I'm like maybe kind of a graduate can be considered, but like once they see that I'm not studying or I graduated in April, I think they don't consider it. Like what are the internship or other like opportunities like this to start off, like you said, to start with something?
Yeah, so if you had back in 4 years experience as well as a course in cybersecurity, that should be the starting path. And also, when you're applying for the job, make sure the job is aligned. You have the right terminologies that's matching to the company. Because what's happening right now in Canada is there is something called as ATS that's present in all the resume scanning. So even before it goes to the HR, it would go through the automated system where it reads your resume, tries to pick some keywords, and then it would be delivered to the HR. So if it's failing at that round, it's probably the resume that has to be modified according to the job description. Once you do that, once it goes to the HR, you should definitely get an interview about that.
Okay, thank you so much.
For all of you who have questions about job search and all those things in the tech field, I would say please drop an email to us. We have a program for people who are looking for jobs. Surya can probably drop the email ID in the chat. Surya, could you drop it, please? Ranjit and Kishore, I understand you people have questions, but in the interest of time, I will ask Rakshita to go ahead with the presentation. We will come back to your questions in the next break. We have a separate Q&A session as well, so all your questions will be answered then.
Thanks, Shilpa. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started with what type of certifications, what are the governing bodies in the cybersecurity sector, and what would interest more for folks. So these are the list of organizations that's there in the cybersecurity sector. So when you talk about the complete frame here, there are GIAC certifications, ISACA certification, that is offensive security, and there's Cisco and EC Council, CompTIA Plus. The person who is asking for the BA role to cybersecurity, this is the council that you should be doing the certifications on, this EC Council. So in that, you will have a great transition between your BA to the cybersecurity role. And the most important governing bodies right now, which is trending, is International Information System Security Certification, the ISC Square, which I'm the member of. So that has a lot of certifications. So if you're interested in all the CISSP certificates out there, those are the governing bodies of the certificate. And then, as I told, there are multiple categories of certifications based on the role. So the first classification would be general information security, computer forensics, pen test or ethical hacker, risk compliance and auditing and governance, incident response or SOC operations, or security operations centers, where where I'll be working mostly on. Okay, and these are few of the certificates that is there for different roles. So if you are an entry level, you would be the ones that is on board are the ones which HR will be liking it and will be focusing in the resume. Sorry about that. So anything that's on board, those are the what do you say, the eye-catching certificates for HRs. If you get certified on those, you have like you're pretty sure that you're getting a job for sure. And each of them have different categories. Few of them would have lab in it. Few of them would have only just the MCQ questions. So depending on the interest and the field of interest, you would be pursuing these certifications. Okay, and here comes the last part of it. If you have any questions going back to the slides on these, I can answer it now before we go to the next slide.
Are these all like paid like certificates, or what about like free ones? Are they gonna work, or it's not worth it? Time spent?
The only free certification that's available is LinkedIn certifications in security. There are nothing that's freely available, and it would catch the where you would get a job. But LinkedIn, there are a few LinkedIn courses which are very good, and some YouTube videos can help as well. But to get certifications, there will be some cost and or to it.
Okay, thank you so much.
No
I
problem.
have a question as well, if I may
Mhm.
ask.
Sure.
So these certifications, for example, for penetration testing, GIAC SEC 504, is that like that would also have some prerequisites to get to this level? Right?
So the ones that I have put in there, those are the entry level certifications. So those, the ones EC Council ones, that will not have a prerequisites, but GIAC certifications will have like 1 year or 2 years of experience needed to get that certification done.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Hi, Rakshida. For entry level, don't you think certified in cybersecurity CC from ICC Square will be required, right? For general information
Uh,
security, CC.
Sorry, what's that again? Can you repeat that?
I mean,
I didn't quite
the
catch it.
certified in cybersecurity, CC from IC Square. That would be an entry level in general information security, right?
Yeah, you
From
can get
IC
that
Square.
certification. Yeah. That's the basic one. That's very basic, wherein you will get only the high level overview of security. But again, those are like to get started in the career, that will not be much of help. You can get, if you are
Okay.
transitioning from non-IT to IT, then that would be a good one.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
can you just the one that is somebody who's not from an IT background and to start from the scratch, which certification one should go for?
Then I would say go for the CompTIA Plus, or the one that Sri Lakshmi mentioned about, DC. I think it's CSP from ISC Square. So that's the one. This is the most easiest one, the CompTIA Security Plus. It just if you're a non-IT, then if you have to get started within 1 month of your study course, you will be able to crack that.
Okay, just one more question, because I did attempt one certification, SC Fundamentals, which is of course a cybersecurity soft, right? Of course, I was not here. That's a different issue, but of course, I just did go through the material and everything. So I mean, in case I mean, of course, the preparation is there, but I'm just wanting to check with you. Should I go again, prepare myself for the entry level certification only, or can I even go to the next level?
Knowing the background that you're from non-IT to IT, I would say give the attempt one more time with the first entry-level certificate, and then you can go for the other ones, because that would be the first part to start with.
Okay. The reason I actually asked you that, even if I do that, let's say the certification I'm able to clear the entry level certification. Do I stand a chance to any kind of an entry opening in the market?
Yeah, like as I told you before, with EAZ 500 and 900 certificates itself, you should be open in the market right now. Those are one of the key certificates that would be looked by any of the professionals. So that would be a good start. You can still start applying with having the knowledge of AZ 900 in your profile.
That would be nice, in case you can just, suggest me as to know where I can apply. Of course, like once the preparation is over, if you can just give me a little idea.
Sure. Maybe Shilpa can help us connect with it, and then we can do that.
Thanks a ton. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So, hi Rakshita.
Hi. Yeah.
So, I have like 2-3 years of software development experience. Then I came to
Mm-hmm.
Canada. Then I got a certification of wireless networking and cybersecurity from George Brown, same as like you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, currently working as a network engineer in Bell. So, I want to change my field. So, shall I go for the penetration tester certification or what?
If you're interested in, because you have the background of software development, and if you're still interested with the development and working on the codes and stuff, then penetration testing ethical hacking certifications is a very good platform, where you get to exploit some codes and then work around the sandboxes, test and do that. So there's
Yeah.
something called as eLearn Security Junior Pen Test Training Test Certification.
Okay.
That's the certification you can start with, and I think I have seen the course module, but I do not have the complete knowledge on how the pen test looks like, but I can provide you more details about it.
Yeah, I have like rough idea, like basic knowledge of penetration tester, but yeah, for sure, I'm gonna connect you on LinkedIn.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have like few questions. Yeah, I don't want to disturb anyone else. Okay. Thank you very much for help. Thank you.
Perfect. No problem. Shilpa will get to the next part of it. Is that okay? And we can take the questions later on.
Yeah, we have a session, Q&A session, right? We could
Mhm.
sort of
Mhm.
answer all those questions in that session.
Yeah, perfect. So coming to the last part of the presentation about how does the life in security engineer looks like. So this is how the normal day for a security engineer looks like. So you'll be starting your day with reading through the security news, going through all the logs and health monitoring systems that's there. And if there are any security assessments that's pending or that is upcoming, you'll be working on that. And after that, here you go, you got your lunch break. And then comes your meetings, and whatever you've analyzed in the morning would be analysis and reporting for those logs and health monitoring. And apart from that, if there are some infrastructural changes or ongoing projects that's happening, you will be working on that. So this is how an ideal day of security engineer looks like. This will not be always. This is like once in a blue moon, this days looks like. So this is how the 0 day looks like as a security engineer. So the first time you log in, you see something which is affected. So you'll be investigating on that issue, confirm with different stakeholders whether you're affected or not, and then escalate those issues, perform your security analysis, isolate it if it's needed, remediate that, patch it. This is how the day looks like as an engineer, which is kind of very nice, challenging. I enjoy it. So each time something new comes in, you'll be very happy to learn about it. So, yep. And here are a few questions that we had before the session has started. I think we pretty much covered all of these while we were talking about it. Is there anything that I have missed here or we did not cover? Yeah, we did
Yeah,
talk about AI. And,
I just wanted to add in that since you were telling about shortages of, there are shortages of network engineers, cyber security folks.
Mhm.
If we had abundance of them, the Toronto Public Library had a major phishing attack. They've been down, their servers has been down for months together. I think if
Exactly.
enough of you were there, I think by now the public library would be up and running.
Exactly. There is a lot of opportunities, to be frank, Shilpa, with you. It's just that the skill set should match the profile. That's the gap that we are having. So that training, I think you guys can help them with that.
Ranjit has his hands up for quite some time now. Would you like to ask your question, Ranjit? I would request you to turn on.
Yeah, definitely, Shilpa. Unfortunately, I
Request you
don't
to
know my
turn on the
camera is.
videos.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn on my video, but somehow it's not working. I'm really sorry for that. Yeah. So my question was, in one of the slide, I had seen about uninterested facts on repetitive tasks, right? As an operation engineer or as an cyber security analyst. So do we have any automation tool in place? To
Yeah.
Yeah, go
We
ahead,
do
please.
have that. Yeah, we do have automations and everything. But what I'm talking is all the companies will not prefer automation. They would like to have certain things the way it is because that might be some critical assets or something. So even though you have automation in place, there would be some restrictions to get it automated. So at that situation, you have to do the repetitive tasks.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So anything like reporting and stuff like that, it's on demand basis. It's not like computer cannot understand everything. A human should have their brains involved in it, right? So that's the reason we have those repetitive tasks.
Okay. Okay, but still there is a scope for automation in the cybersecurity space, right?
Yeah, definitely. Right now, if you see the technology that's growing in cybersecurity, there's a lot of demand for automation engineers in cybersecurity as well. So if you go to the mechanical industries, there also you have cybersecurity engineers who are automating the robots and all the for example, if you take Tesla car, it has the cybersecurity team involved in it. So anywhere outfield there you have the security engineer. The roles are so wide enough. Manufacturing, you go to healthcare, you go to finance, you name it, you have it. It's like that.
Okay.
That's how the opportunities are.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Problem.
That's all I have.
Okay, I will go back to the chat questions. Honey Patel, right? I think you can reach out to us separately. We could help you with your job search. So
Yeah.
can I? Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, actually, I just completed my Google certificate course from Google, and after that, I'm looking for a job right now for like around a month, but I don't get any job like interviews, because they always want like at least 2 years experience in the field, which I don't have. So I don't know what should I do right now about that. So that's my question. What should I do, and where should I start?
So Google Career Certification, is it done specifically for security, or is it a general Google Career
Yeah, general
Certification that was done?
cybersecurity.
I think that's Google Cybersecurity, Introduction to Google Cybersecurity, right? Bits and
Yeah,
bytes
yeah.
of networking.
Basic
Okay, yeah.
things.
Yeah. So if you've done that, you might have got a better understanding on it. You can either get yourself certified with one of the well-known general bodies that I have mentioned before, so that they are aware. Most of them will not be aware what Google cybersecurity will be concerned, because it's specific to Google terminologies. So anything that's done on the security sector, the governing bodies of the security sector, that will help you a lot.
Okay.
Instead of doing specific to company based.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Pankaj is next, but I think Pankaj, he has answered your questions. Could you confirm if your question is answered? I don't think he's there. Can I, a similar question as Hani, so Kishore, can we skip your question? Or do you have anything? I can't hear you, Kishore.
Not really, but quickly, I'll just ask few questions. All right. Rakshita, basically, I'm from non-IT. So I did my cybersecurity, the basic student level course from CCNA, from Cisco. And also I'm a bit familiar about this Palo Alto policies and those things. So I have this Fortinet NSE 1, 2, and 3 certifications. So which was free.
Wonderful.
So I did complete that. So since I'm from non-IT, so I'm planning to change the domain, and I completed all these certifications. So could you please guide me to kickstart in IT for
Sure.
cybersecurity, for system role or something, just to get into and once I get
Sure.
familiar with the networking, and then I can upgrade my skills.
Yeah, got it. Sure. That's a very good start for you. Learning about some basic concepts of CCNA will give you an overview of how exactly the networking in the infrastructure works, and also will give you insights what are the policy, security, governance, and everything. To just get started, I think whatever you have done for now looks good, looks fantastic. You can just start applying for jobs. In order to align for the jobs, if you like, if there is something that you are particularly looking for in the job, do you want to start as a network engineer, or do you want to start as a security engineer? You can start with both of them.
Okay, so
It need
basically I'm
not be
looking for
like,
security.
yeah, it need not be you have to start as a network engineer and then go to security, but you can start as a security engineer. So try getting some internships or co-ops that would be provided. In that way, you will get a exposure of how the production environment works, how in the real world scenario those applications will be working. Or any of these certifications which has lab in it. If you're not able to get any internships, some of the certifications have lab associated with it. With the lab association, you'll be able to understand how it works on the bigger picture.
All right.
You'll,
So
you'll,
basically,
yeah,
I'm keep applying, but as everybody said, it's probably because of the skill set, it's not matching
Mhm.
or something. So I'm just waiting for the
Mhm.
call from 3 to 4 months.
Yeah,
Let's see.
sure.
Anyways, I'll get in touch with Shilpa for updates.
Yeah, for sure. Like whatever the skills, like if you have seen the protocols that for the beginners that I have given, if you are familiarized with all that, then you should be good to go. You should get an interview call with that skill sets.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Rakshita.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kishore. I now call upon Sophia. She's been asking multiple times, I have a question, please, I have a question. Sophia, if you're there, please ask your question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the valuable information you provided. And I moved to Canada a few years ago. And I recently graduated from the computer networking and cybersecurity engineer. And however, it has been challenging for me to find a job. Most job posting require like 5 years or more of experience. And I also searching for internship. From my understanding, it's not easy to secure a cybersecurity job in Canada. And could you please, and you said there is a lot of openings and it's possible. And please, could you provide me some guidance on how to step or I should follow to obtain the entry-level job?
Yeah, for
Thank
sure. So, yeah, I got to know that you have studied in Canada with the cybersecurity course. So, with the cybersecurity course, you might have learned a few concepts like vulnerability management, scanning, pen testing, ethical hacking, and these are
Yeah.
the courses that you might have completed. Based on those courses, do you have any practical experience on that? Like, or you just have studied the course as the course was designed with? Because sometimes what happens is if the practical knowledge is not up to the expectation, that's when we might be failing to crack the interviews. So I would suggest that having a practical experience or getting into any of the lab associated trainings will help us, because getting into hands-on will give you a lot more insights and a lot more troubleshooting skills that's required than just having the bookish knowledge. Because sometimes in security what happens is you might know, you might have studied these are the concepts, but if you implement them, those will not come into picture at all. So in that situations, I would recommend that you should have practical experience on how to troubleshoot, how to handle the scenarios, and things like that.
Yeah, we did a lot of things like that in the college, and also we used Cisco Lab for. We did a lot of things, and also the last few months I was working with one company in security auditing. Like most of the things that from the auditing part.
That's
And
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
So you get started.
Yeah, I tried my best to get hand-on experience, even if I'm not working in a real job.
Auditing is a good stuff. Like auditing is also considered under the security spectrum. So it depends, again, it depends on the interest on how you have to elevate the career. So some people really enjoy auditing, some people enjoy infrastructure security. So if you have to change between auditing to infrastructure, the only way is get yourself certified. That's the whole core soul of cybersecurity, is get certified. So with getting certification, you will enhance your knowledge as well as the gap that has been between your existing scenario and the industry scenario.
Yeah, but you know, when you search in the job, the certification is the one thing, but they require like 5-8 years experience for entry-level job.
Not
And
really.
I have been there for almost 3-4 months searching every day. I never seen any vacancies that require like 1 year or 2 years, something like that. Because I'm just graduate and I don't have any experience, but only I have academic experience and some projects.
Okay, perfect.
Most
Maybe
people they said there is a lot of job. It's easy to get cybersecurity in Canada, but in my understanding, it's a difficult one.
as Shilpa mentioned before, regarding the Toronto library, so you have a lot, like the servers are down for months together, but you do not have someone to fix, which means that there are scarcity of engineers, but there is no gap that could fill that position. That's the challenge that has been faced in the industry. Like, it's not that there are no jobs, there are a lot of jobs, but you should make sure your resume or the experience that you match should match to it. Because why it's very critical here is when you're a security engineer, the whole and sole responsibility of the company lies on your hand. So you will be the first point of contact to troubleshoot and remediate it. So because you are a critical staff in the company, they will look into different parameters of hiring. Even for a junior role, they'll do multiple screening and scanning, but it shouldn't be a hard to get in through it if you are matching with the positions.
Sophia, I would suggest sign up our job search help program that we have. We'll take this further offline, if that helps.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I now call upon Narmada Rangaswamy. If you could ask your question.
Yeah. Hi, Rakshita. I want to know how much part of your day-to-day life involves coding. Like you talked about cloud, you talked about networking. What part of it is coding, like writing scripts, or what language is in demand, like from the coding part? I just want to know.
So if you ask me on the day-to-day basis, like I hardly do the coding. Like maybe whenever some critical pen tests come in where we have to validate those things, that's when the coding part. That's not even like coding. It's like the scripting that I would be doing. So I'll be doing the Bash scripting. It depends on the companies again. So mostly the Bash, Python, or anything like that. But as a security engineer, if you're a pen tester, to be very specific, or if you are in the ethical hacking side of the spectrum, then you would your day would have a lot of codes and stuff in there. But for an operations engineer or for any security engineer, you will not have a lot of code. Maybe 5%. That is also a lot, for to be frank enough.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rakshita, can you turn off your presentation?
Yeah, for sure.
You've done this. Yeah, I would like to call Bhanu to ask her question. Bhanushri Vishwanath, sorry. Are you there?
Hello.
Okay, oh, yeah. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Hi, Rakshita. So I have two questions basically. So one is I already have 6 years experience in information security and access management from India, Bangalore. Okay. And currently I'm enrolled in cybersecurity course for 2 years, and I'll be doing a co-op in September, starting September. So I'm not sure, should I be starting from an entry level position, or will my previous experience will be considered to start the jobs here? So that's my first question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Sometimes what happens is, to be frank enough, what I faced in Canada was initially I had to start from scratch because I did not have a lot of experience back home. I had just 3+ of years experience back home, but I had to start from a basic level. But having 6+ of year experience, I've seen my colleagues working in there and out. So you can start as an intermediate position. You don't have to start with a junior position. You can start with intermediate, or maybe advanced position will also sometimes go ahead. But again, this is the requirement of the company, not exactly the market out there. So yeah, some of them will hire, some of them don't. So it's hard to answer that whether you will or will not.
Yeah, it's again totally based on the requirement, I think.
Yeah, but you can definitely apply for the advanced roles and intermediate roles because 6 years is a solid experience in security, and they will consider at least 3 years, if not complete 6 years.
Okay, thank you. And the second question was again coming to the certifications. So there are like two certifications. Since I already have 6 years experience, right? So should I be doing like the CISM certificate or the entry level certificate for to start with the
I would recommend to do the intermediate certification because you already have experience. There is no point in starting from scratch. Yeah, start with the advanced one so that boosts your profile as well as you can your job search becomes easy.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I call Divya Kamath.
Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you, Rakshita, for such a wonderful session as well, and for all of your insights. My question is specifically to regarding testing and maybe in the auditing side. Have you seen a certain type of frameworks that are being used, or which is sort of most commonly used frameworks in this space as of now?
You mean the testing framework? Excuse me, the pen testing frameworks right now. So if you take the pen testing as a whole, so most of the companies, what they do is they just contract it to the external folks. They'll not have until unless big companies like Rogers, TELUS, apart from those folks, and big banks like CIBC and all the RBC folks. Apart from them, all of them would have contractors in them. So if you're specifically looking for some frameworks and stuff, I can share you a few documentations where the latest technology will be coming in place. So that will help you get started.
Sure. Thank you. That'll be helpful. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Divya. Can Kusuma come and Kusuma ask a question? Kusuma Shri Tummasi Srinivas. Sorry if I got the pronunciation wrong. Is she around? Okay, Sri Lakshmi, I think you asked your question. Geeta Namalai, are you there? Okay, we're done with Divya's. Oh, Geeta, yes, go on.
So regarding so I was like asking like what would be the basic start for us, like because I was developing applications in for a banking or mostly I will go into a banking or finance sector only. So in that, like what are any specific based upon cybersecurity courses based upon the domain? Like while I was working, we integrated like ZAP security all into or for automation for cyber security attacks. So any specific based upon domain, we have any specific courses?
So based on the experience, you have worked on few of the automation tools. So are you interested in the development security side of it or infrastructure security side of it?
Development side of security.
Yeah, so if you are looking for development side of security, there are some platforms like Prisma Cloud, Veracode. All these are the development side of security, where you have the exposures of checking the vulnerabilities in the code and working on those things on the API level.
Once again, please.
Sorry?
Once again, can you repeat it? I'll note it down.
It's Veracode. I can type it in the chat. It's VERA, Veracode, and Prisma Cloud. Prisma Cloud is the product of Palo Alto. So any products that's from Palo Alto, you should be, any certifications on that would help you get into the development of security side of it.
Does it answer your question, Geeta?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask Preetham Waraju to ask his question?
Yeah, hi. So actually my camera is not working, so I'm not able to on the camera.
That's okay.
Yeah, so you mentioned that there are a lot of LinkedIn courses regarding to cybersecurity. So can you name few of the courses?
What side of security are you looking? Are you looking for the infra side, and in the infrastructure, are you looking for the vulnerability management or
I'm looking
identity assessment?
I'm looking for the analyst side. So SOC
Analyst
analyst.
side of.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be the beginner certifications, right? So there is something called as security operations certifications. There are multiple ones in there. Like I think by George Zeung, I believe I had done that course before, and it seemed to be like a 5-hour course which covers all the aspects of the SOC analyst. It also tells on how you analyze the logs and things like that in the Sumo Logics or even in the Splunk. He'll give you comparisons between all that. I can share
Okay.
that with Shilpa, and Shilpa can forward you that.
Yeah, sure.
I have
Yeah,
another
sure.
question. So
Preetham, we are really running short of time. You have Rakshita's email ID. So you can drop an email, or you could also drop us an email. Surya has shared our contact information in the chat. We could facilitate answers for you because Rakshita has a meeting to catch.
oh, okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about this. Sorry, people. I know you people have a lot of questions. Please drop either Rakshita or as an email. You could get those answered on email. So thank you everyone thank you Rakshita for this insightful presentation. We will it was wonderful to listen to you all, and it was very engaging conversation. Thank you all the participants for attending the session today. With that, I would like to sign off this meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you, Shilpa, for the opportunity. Thanks
Yeah.
all of them for
Thank you
listening.
all.